What's up everyone, I'm Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures, and I got another Gaia tutorial for you. This one we're going to take a deep dive into the organization capabilities of Gaia GPS. I mean, when you travel as much as we do, keeping your navigation app organized is sometimes critical. It really helps being able to turn things on and off when you need it, sharing things with friends, just keeping all your stuff easy to find for future reference. I used to be horrible at this until my wife encouraged me to figure out an organizational structure, and now I think I've got this down pretty good, and my Gaia looks a lot better than it used to. But what we're going to do is I actually have my wife's Gaia GPS open here because she is fantastic at staying organized. So I'm going to show you, first of all, what all Gaia can do, both on the web browser and then also on a mobile device. I'm going to use my tablet here just because the screen fits better on this screen. So I'm going to use the tablet, works the same way on your phone. And then I'm going to show you, basically how to do it. So let's dig in. What I'm looking at here on the screen is really my wife's current trip through Oregon, down the Pacific coast, and then over to the Tahoe, Sierra Nevada area. Actually, right now, this is where she is. She is on one of these lakes. I'm not sure which one, but that's where she is right now. So this is her trip, and as you can see, there's a crap ton of waypoints on the screen. So the web browser has two options for how to stay organized. You can use this saved items tab over here on the left. This is where you can click on that and then get everything that you have. You can have it in a list form. It's got this filter button right here. You can see I have this filtered by tracks. You can go turn that off and go all items. So now it's got everything from tracks to folders to waypoints to routes, and everything that she has done is here. You can, if you have things that are hidden, you can just look at those. If you have things that are visible, you can look at those. This has both selected. And then you can also filter by activity, but unless you're actually labeling your stuff, which, let's be honest, very few of us do, I don't ever, just leave that all activities. You can also sort it by date here, from newest to oldest. Time created, you can sort by title, you can sort by distance traveled. So lots of quick ways here to find what you're looking for. One key thing, I mentioned it in all my other videos, when you're recording tracks and when you're dropping waypoints, be sure and name them. You can see everything here is pretty clearly labeled. This is her track from yesterday, this track 720. She hasn't gone back in to name this yet, but you can see if she chooses not to name this, that's going to be really hard to know what that is. So I suspect when she's done with this trip, she's going back and she's going to give that a name, because that's what she does. When I save everything of mine, I go in and give it a name. That way I at least know, what national forest it was in, or what state it was in, or what trip I was on, if I gave that a name, that sort of thing, what year I did it. So that's this little saved items folder here. We'll get into more detail with that in a minute. The other place that you can access all of your stuff is over here. If you go here to where your little icon is and click that, then you've got, basically you see tracks, routes, area, waypoints, photos. You basically got a lot of the same things here, but when you click on, let's go tracks, then it brings you to this page, which there's no map involved. you just have basically kind of like a folder list. If you were looking at a folder structure in, on your computer, that's kind of what this is. And in here you've got like this track. If it's in a folder, it'll tell you here what folder it's on. It will tell you date created at the time of this recording. It is Friday the 21st. So this was recorded yesterday. Then you've got, here's Redwood Trail, Redwood Titans, route to Redwoods. This is stuff that I know she did. And she has put this in a folder called California. These were done in Oregon. These were uploads, so it says .gpx. So you can see here what folder things are in. If we go back up here, now here I can go here and look at the waypoints that she's done. So here's a campsite. Here's more camps. Here's just little waypoints along the way. I can go over here, and if I want to just look at the folders, I can look at the folders. So here's the folder structure that she has. She has these uploads, and then she has a Nevada folder, she has an Oregon folder, she has a Washington folder, and then all of these she's got in its own folder. So she's got everything categorized into portions of the country. So Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, those are all in a folder called Western US. Arkansas is in Southern US. When we finally travel to the Eastern, portion and wheel there, so I'm sure she'll make a folder called Eastern US. That way she can just quickly go in and just keep things organized. If she's looking for something in the South, she knows it's in the Southern US folder, etc. This view is only available in the web browser. You cannot access this view on any mobile device or in the app. You can only access this in the web browser. So that's a unique feature that you have in the web browser. And I like this for a lot of things. And I'll show you what all it can do here in just a little bit. Let's go back and let's talk about this saved items folder, because this is exactly the same icon and same functionality that you're going to find on your phone in the app, phone, mobile device, whatever, in the app. It's going to be the same. You click on saved items, it's going to pop out this drawer. And depending on how many items you have in here, it can be faster or slower. I have a whole lot more than this, so mine sometimes takes a while to load. So let's just kind of dig in here, and let me show you what all kind of functionality we get here. So let's take her track. We can click on that. It will isolate it on the map. It's down here. So it isolates it, highlights it, kind of dims down everything around it. From this you get details about this track that she recorded. It went 45 miles. She was on the trail for 5 hours and 45 minutes. You see max elevation was at 4,700 feet. Minimum was 2,100 feet. That can be real important when you're looking at weather and temperatures. It's toward the end of July, and some areas are stupid hot right now, like here. She had a very nice day at higher elevations yesterday. You can see their average speed was about 8 miles an hour. Max speed, they hit 32. And then you get some options down here. You can center it on the map, which we've already done. There's a details page. You can change what folder it's in. And if it was in a folder, it would say up here, but it doesn't. So here's where you can, boom, change a folder. If you will need to create a new folder, you can do that here and then drop it in there. So let's open the details page. That brings you to this view right here. Some of the same information, a little bit different graph. Only has that on the screen, and you can save it as a GPX file here. You can add it to a folder here. You can delete it. But all that stuff, if you go to the details page, this is what the details page looks like. This is really handy when you have a folder, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. In this section here, you can also export this. If you want to export this as a GPX file to save and share with someone else, you can do that here. So that's what happens when you click on these details. All right, let's see what happens when we click on something on the screen. So I know this is where they camped last night, so I'm gonna click on that, and there's a few different icons there, so it gives me options for what I might have clicked on. So I'm gonna do Epic Camp on the Water, and then it gives you've got the same things. I can change the folder that it's in. I can open details, center on map. Now this icon, let's say we do this DP Washington, here it tells us that one's in a folder. So you can see right here on the top, the Tahoe BDT alternative, that's in that folder there. And so if I wanted to put that somewhere else, I could do change folder. So if I want to see what's in that Tahoe BDT, I can go back here. Let's go to saved. I can search for that. Tahoe. Now, for a folder like this that has a bunch of stuff, so it's got the route, it's got all these waypoints. If I scroll down here, here's everything that's in there. So this is all the waypoints and stuff that is in this folder. And if I want to get any details on it, so let's say I want to know where this Weber Lake Campground is, I can click on that. That will then open up this detail page, and there's that campground. So it's in this folder, and then this folder is inside, you can see, the California folder. So she's got the route and all the waypoints in this folder, and then that folder, you can see it's got the folder icon. That folder is in the California folder. So in California, there is all of this stuff. So I can scroll down here and see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different folders in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tracks and routes, and then a bunch of waypoints. So that's everything that's in California. Now let's go back over here. Let's go. Let's go to the folders here. It's the fact that you can organize everything into folders and be as detailed and as granular as you want to be that makes Gaia GPS one of the best tools for this off-grid adventure travel thing. So you can't get this detailed with your organization in any other app that I know of. I know Onyx doesn't do it. I know Maprica and Avenza definitely don't do it. So let's look at the folders here. And so here I can go to, where's California? Let's go to California. And you can see right here, it's got immediately, see this little eyeball here? Let me zoom out. So if I, for some reason, don't want to see all this stuff on my map, maybe I'm just trying to get my lay of the land, and this area over here is just kind of cluttered because there's so many waypoints and stuff. So I can go California, and I can hit that eyeball, and now everything disappears that was in that folder. You can see there's a few waypoints down here that were not in that folder, but I can quickly toggle everything in that folder on and off. If I want it back, just go back to California and toggle it back on, and boom, there you go. Now, just for demonstration's sake, let me open up my iPad here, and I don't have my wife's account set up on my iPad. It's my account. As you can see, mine is a lot more cluttered because I've got a lot more stuff on there. But let me show you just real quickly how it's very similar. If on the iPad, if you click on these 4 arrows here in the upper left, down at the bottom, you get this saved folder. Looks exactly like it did on the screen. And so here I've got tracks, routes, waypoints, folders. All my stuff is in a folder. And I know I've got folders within folders. So let's say I'm looking for my Arkansas Trails folder that's got all of my tracks and stuff in Arkansas. I do share all of my stuff to our Patreon supporters. So they have access to certain folders on my Gaia GPS. So I know if I just try to look for Arkansas, I just have this one folder. I know that folder is inside my Patreon Trails folder right here. So I'm going to click on that, and then I can see inside this folder here, I've got Utah tracks, Oregon tracks, New Mexico tracks, Michigan, Arizona, Texas, scroll down here, Arkansas, Kentucky. So I can see everything that's in that folder there. So if I'm looking for my Arkansas Trails, I can go there, tap on it, and then here's everything that's in my Arkansas folder. From here, this was a hike I did. From here, you can tap on that and then tap on the preview again and do show on main map or expand preview map. Expand preview map brings that up here, which is pretty cool. There it is. And then if I tap on it and do show on main map, it will take me over there and highlight it there on my main map. And if I decide, I don't really want that showing on there, I can click this hide on map icon and boom, it goes away. Or I can make it come back. So you can see I did properly name that hike to Green Grotto. It's a waterfall up there. And so now if I ever want to find Green Grotto Falls, I can. So exact same functionality, does give you a little extra touches here, such as tapping on that and then show on preview the expanded map and everything. That's some pretty cool functionality. On the phone, I'm not going to record the screen here, but I just want to show you. The phone is just a little different from a tablet in that you already have the icons down here at the bottom. So you've got the icons here at the bottom, and you just click on that the saved icon right there, and you get the same structure that you see here on the tablet. So that's where that is. What I want to do now is demonstrate how to organize your stuff in the folders. So I'm just going to go here to an area that I know Kara hasn't been. And so this is pretend. I'm gonna draw some quick routes, drop some waypoints, and show you kind of pre-planning, and then show you kind of what that looks like to do something during the day, and then organize it all. So we're gonna say, we're gonna make a route here, and we're gonna start here off the highway. I'm going to change it to driving, and we're going to drop it here and go here. Let's go up here and then over to here. And I'm just going to make a real quick pretend route here, and we want to get over here. We're going to take the scenic route over here by this lake. And we're going to assume that, all right, there's that. We're going to go test one, just give it a name so I can find it and delete it, because this is my wife's account and she's going to wonder why there's stuff in it. Let's say that's our track for the day. And then we get there and we found an epic camp spot. Right there, we're going to change the icon to camping there. And let's say along the way we saw, let's see, we went and we looked at this. But let's just pretend that's a hot spring, and we enjoyed that. So hot spring, we can give it an icon. Let's say we you know, photograph. And so we've got these 3 items here that was our day, or maybe we're pre-planning and we want to be able to organize it. So I can click on that and then go down here and hit change folder. So this is our track. We're gonna go down here, we're gonna do change folder, and we're gonna create a new folder, and I'm just gonna name it test 1. That way I can easily find it and delete it. So create folder, boom. That is now in a folder called test 1. And it says so right up here on top. Then I can go here to my waypoint. And now if I click change folder, look, test 1 is already there because it was our most recent. So drop that in test 1. And then go to this one, change folder, drop that in test 1. So from here I can go to saved items. I've already got it filtered by folders here, so it comes up with test 1. I can see the items. I can go over here and see items, and then there's the things. I can toggle visibility for each of these on and off if I want to. And if there's a lot in here, I can even search for it. And then I can toggle that on and off from here as well. But let's say, this is in California, so I want to put that in the California folder. There we go. In the overview, I can then change folders. And then California is already here on my list, so I can then drop that in California. Now, if maybe a friend of mine says, hey, where was that epic campsite that you found? I'd love to follow that route. Or maybe this is, our pre-planned trip, and you've got, a few friends that are going with you on that trip, and you want to be able to share that with you. So you can go to share, and it'll give you a URL that will send them to your Gaia GPS, and you can then copy that, put it in an email, put it in a Facebook message, whatever. Or I can click on export as a GPX file, and it's now saving it on my computer. I can then send that GPX file to my friends as well. So I've got 2 options there. I can send them a link, I share, or I can export it and do it that way. But I can do that because everything's in a folder. I don't have to share just the route and then the waypoints individually. I can just do it all in once. So as you can see, if I've got a lot more than just 1 track and 2 waypoints, maybe it's a 5-day trip, so I've got 5 different tracks in there. I've got 100 waypoints in there because I've dropped waypoints for every cool overlook and every possible campsite that I found along the way, every waterfall, every point of interest kind of thing. Having all that into 1 folder makes it really easy to share and toggle on and off and, do all those things with that whole folder. So that would be a royal pain in the butt if I had to send 5 different route files, if I had to send 100 different waypoints and not have them organized in a folder. So super, super powerful. Now let me show you that other view. Let me open the details page on this so I can show you how to do that here. So here's our folder. As you can see, it's in the California folder. And if I want to share it here, I can go to data, save it as a GPX file. Let's say I've got a friend who's going to be in Northern California, and he's like, man, can you share with me all those cool spots you found? Well, I can go to just California and do that entire whole California folder as a GPX file and give them all the routes and all the waypoints. Let's say I wanted to even go even further. Maybe I got a buddy that's maybe moving out west. He's like, man, I'd love to be able to check out all those cool places. So we've got some stuff in Oregon, Utah, and the coast, Northern California here. I can share every bit of that and just save it as a GPX file and send it to them. So I can even go over here to share this folder, and if I know their email address, maybe they have a Gaia account, I can shoot them an email with this. Super powerful way to keep stuff organized and especially be able to share it. So I hope this was helpful. I hope I didn't run through it too quickly, if you haven't seen any of my previous videos on Gaia GPS, I just not too long ago released a video, a deep dive into the layers and getting into the layer structure and the best layers to use and layers that I like and why. So if you didn't watch that video, go check it out. The layers and the ability to organize your stuff are two of my biggest reasons for using Gaia GPS. No other offline navigation app can do what Gaia GPS can do in this regard. So if you have any questions, be sure and put them in the comments. I'm happy to help. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, please. Subscribe to the channel. I've got more of these deep dives coming out in the future, and like putting in little nuggets of kind of helpful tips and stuff in my trip videos and how I'm using Gaia on those on my trips. So hit the subscribe button if you would, if you're not subscribed already. And I mentioned our Patreon having access to all of our GPS data. Also gets access to special events, special content. Link for that is in the description. And for Ozark Overland Adventures merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.